Every time I think I get one of these microphones figured out, I still think it looks extremely weird on me. And now I'm pointing it out, so that's actually going to make it worse. It's still, it's lopsided. You know what? Come on, buddy. You can do it. I really need to learn how to properly lapel things. Hello world, my name is Danominator. Let's get into it. It's been a while. How are you? I hope you're having a good one. Vector's having a good one. He keeps perking up whenever I speak. It's been a little bit since there was a video on this channel, and you all know why. PC. This looks exactly the same as the last video, but I promise it's different. Look, there's a fourth screen. I promise it's different. It's incredibly original. I need to stop pretending I'm funny, but whatever, that's why I'm a YouTuber. So yeah, you've read the title and you're probably wondering, what is he talking about? You know, like I know I'm coming back at a very random point in time of the year after uploading like a YouTube poop in April, and my uploads are all over the place. Long story short, I'm still having perfectionist issues and I don't know if I'll ever get over them, but all the projects that I would like to upload for you guys, Plasmaster even has a couple of stream highlights ready. I keep having to do things with them to make sure that they're in the proper format. It's not Plaz's fault. He's doing a fantastic job. It's a me thing. It's all my perfectionism. But the other thing that's keeping projects coming up on this channel is the PC. You can't see it, but maybe I'll cut to a clip over it or something during this part of the video. I'm also migrating to a new editor. It's a better version of Premiere. Well, better, as good as an Adobe product can get. But yeah, there's a lot of things kind of blocking me from making videos the way I want to, and that's stuff that's going to be resolved over time, you know? As well as me getting back into talking in front of a screen and a camera. It's been a little while, and to be honest, I feel like I need to relearn some things because I'm definitely stammering more than I used to, and I don't like being like that. So, growing pains, you know, early days and all of this stuff. So, we are getting there, and I apologize for how long it's been, but getting back to that thing I mentioned about having a new PC, 2024 is putting me in a very strange position, and that's kind of the main thing that I wanted to talk about because I don't pride myself on being a particularly negative person. I don't even pride this channel on being a negative space. You know what I mean? Like, I generally, if I'm talking about something on this in this place, it's because I like it, you know? And, you know, I'll criticize the things I like, sure, absolutely. But in general, I'm talking about the things I like. And it really pains me to go around making videos like this, but I feel like I kind of have to, because the way that the video game space is becoming right now is so indescribably sad that it makes me just want to avoid buying brand new video game consoles entirely. Now, there's a lot of contributing factors to this, and I'm not the first person to talk about them, so please don't take my word as gospel. I am not the person to come to for the legal terms or the news updates. This is not a gaming news channel, and it probably never will be. But I feel like so many things have been bubbling to the surface recently in this general topic that I need to talk about it because, like I said, there are many things that are causing me to want to just make a video and just get it over with. The way that gaming is going right now, it's putting me in a very unusual situation. One of those factors is having a PC, right? So, as you can imagine, having this incredibly powerful computer that I am still unlocking all of the powers of is insane. You know, like, oh, now I can do things with ray tracing, now I can game at 120 FPS if I have the right screen. I can download games with DRM that make the games run worse. I'm not doing that last one. You know, my world has kind of expanded a lot, so I'm getting used to what all that entails. And there's a lot of exciting things about PC gaming, but it's also making me realize something. Oh, I have a really fast computer. And the thing about having a fast computer is that you can play a lot of games on it. You can also emulate a lot of games on it. You see where I'm getting at here? I have had a Steam Deck for about 2 years now, and I love the thing. I've actually started using it a little bit more than my Switch as of this year. And I'm not trying to say that it is a Switch replacement, but for somebody like me who likes my games to run at a stable frame rate, that is the most important thing to me, above all else, resolutions or whatever. The Steam Deck does a really good job. I've only ever had issues with games that are mainly based on Microsoft software. So, you know, like Forza Horizon, which unfortunately is one of my favorite games to play on it. It crashes a lot. But, you know, semantics. I'm used to tinkering with my games, and tinkering in general. Like, I MacGyver half the stuff in my room to make it work properly. So, to be honest with you, I don't see much of a reason to get into more consoles than I already have, because the Steam Deck is a great portable solution for these games that now I can also play on a PC. Last year, I was streaming PC games using the Steam Deck. That was plugged into my laptop with the capture card just so I could play those online with you guys. And now I don't even have to do that. I can skip an entire step. If you think about it, it's just kind of trading one world for another. And I'm not saying that I'm done playing console video games at all. I mean, sheesh, we still have like half an entire Pokemon game to get through, the only one that's held my attention for any amount of time. I've really been enjoying Legends Arceus. But speaking of which, that brings up the Switch, which is the second reason that I don't see myself getting consoles as much anymore. Corporations kinda suck. I understand I am not the first person to talk about this, so please don't take all of my words as the final most important words on any of these subjects. I am not an expert here. But there have been so many announcements from Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, even the smaller, slightly smaller studios like Ubisoft, and there's a couple smaller ones I can't quite remember right now. Those are the main four that I'm seeing a lot of issues with. There have been so many recent announcements, so many layoffs, so much disrespect going on in these companies that's either spreading to the employees or to the players themselves. Man, it's just not fun to support companies anymore. I'm not the only person thinking this, right? You know, obviously when you're a kid and you get a DS and you start playing Mario games on it, you're not thinking about the company's actions or what kind of corporation they are. You're thinking, oh man, funny wahoo man, this is awesome. And he still is. I love Mario games. I love Nintendo games. But I don't love Nintendo. Not in the slightest. I hate to say it, but Nintendo really is closer to becoming the walled garden company that basically equates to the video game version of Apple. And they have been a little bit like that for most of their existence, but now it's getting worse. And I hate to say it, it probably will continue getting worse. Nintendo's big upcoming announcement was basically just hinted at from a tweet from Furukawa, the president over of Nintendo Japan. And I mean, it's exciting, but it's also the same news we already were aware of. Like, wow, a Switch successor is coming. Who could have guessed? It's only one of their most popular selling consoles of all time. Great. I'm so happy for everybody who's hyped for it. For me, it's basically the make or break on whether or not I buy a Nintendo console ever again. I only have a few individual problems with them right now, but recently they've been doing some really scummy things, like just the dumbest of takedowns. They recently took down a bunch of assets from Gmod that have been there for like probably 20 years, like almost as long as the program itself. Why? Why would you touch that? What does that earn you? It's really dumb things like that that make me realize I just don't like supporting Nintendo anymore. They find new ways to ruin the goodwill of their customers every year. And it's actually creative, if you think about it, like how they manage to find a new way to just tick people off every year. And it's very situational. And there are some things that I care less about, like how they recently announced they're getting rid of Twitter support. I don't care about Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I deleted Twitter a long time ago. My life is better for it. What I'm trying to say is, I don't like the direction Nintendo is going right now. There are some things that were like rumored about the Switch successor, like how it's going to introduce more DRM to games, and I don't know if Switch games already have that. I don't think they do, but like the whole idea of them like just attacking so many angles of the way that fans show their love for the company. And, you know, taking down mods, taking down fan projects. The Nintendo I know is not there anymore. And part of that is because I've grown up, you know, I'm older. But at the same time, just don't be a jerk. I like the idea of the Switch, but the Switch hardware is faulty. It's got a lot of issues, and I don't know if I can trust another Switch. Even if it's really good, it would have to have a significant selling point for me. But moving away from Nintendo, in general, I'm getting tired of supporting major companies, and there are some that I was even thinking of supporting a little bit recently that I've had to back out on. I was thinking of getting an Xbox. Yeah, me. I know, it's silly, but there was something about the idea of just having one of each major player's console at some point in my life that sounded kind of cool. You know, I'm a gadget guy. I like the Xbox controllers, I guess. I'm not saying I had a good reason, but the way that Xbox and therefore Microsoft has been treating the companies who make their games, no, I don't want to support them either. Tango Gameworks is dead, guys. The folks who made that really great beat 'em up rhythm game that everybody was like absolutely heart-throbbed over, they're gone. Microsoft killed them and a bunch of other major studios in one fell swoop. Who does that? And it's funny, the next day, after announcing this, and they gave their employees like 0 time to react to this, by the way, they said in an interview that they want more games exactly like Hi-Fi Rush. That was exactly what they were talking about. Like, hey, we want, you know, we see that the live service games kind of have issues sometimes. We want more first-party titles that do really well and have a good gameplay loop and a beginning, middle, end, you know, just good games. And they just shut down multiple studios that make good games for them. And that's stupid, you know. And now I feel bad about recommending Hi-Fi Rush to anybody because the money's not gonna go to Tango anymore. It's like, I don't understand. Sony, man, I don't know. I haven't heard as many insane things about Sony, but I have a PS4 Slim that somebody gave me a while ago, and I might play a couple of games on that. Like, if I can get Gravity Rush, that would be great. But I don't need a PS5. Sony's acting like the PlayStation 5 is already at its end of life, and it's barely been out for any time for just the general public to get it because of the hardware shortage. That's a very boneheaded move from them, in my opinion. They should be doubling down on support for the thing now that everybody can get a PS5, not making it sound like they're announcing the PS6 next year, you know what I mean? And Ubisoft is almost just as bad as all of these guys, if not worse. The way that they're treating people who bought their products and the way that they are acting about ownership of games in general is just getting worse and worse. Man, I was going to be so excited to talk about Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battles sequel, Sparks of Hope, in my favorite games of 2023. Spoiler, by the way. And I'm still going to mention it in there, but now I have to add a disclaimer saying, yeah, maybe you shouldn't buy from this company because they could just take down your games at any moment and make you pretend that you're happy about it. What's going on here? Did I just get into PC gaming at the perfect time so that I don't feel the need to get into consoles anymore? Because the companies making consoles are making some of the dumbest decisions I've ever heard of. it's mortifying. The way that digital ownership is just going down the drain so quickly because of technological advancements, it makes me want to emulate more. It makes me want to pirate old games more. It makes me want to work on my incredibly huge backlog of games from the Wii, the 3DS, the Switch even, and my Steam library that I only started getting into because of the Steam Deck. There were a lot of Epic Games giveaways and Steam giveaways that I kind of racked up over the years when I heard about these services. So, you know, I'll admit it, I like free things, so I've been redeeming a lot of codes over the years. I could probably be playing all of my current library up to this day and have stuff to play for the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. Nintendo might be the only company who could get me back into consoles because I like the games they make and they will always be locked to this platform. But if they start going this direction and trying to make digital ownership so specific and saying, oh, you can't share your games with anybody anymore, you need to keep your cartridge, as if cartridges are not meant to be shared. That used to be a thing PlayStation cared so much about, and now they're saying, no, you can't do that anymore. Once you've gotten your license key from the disc and into your account, you can't share the disc anymore. Somebody has to buy it from you officially. It's like, just, guys, stop taking advantage of technology to make everybody's lives work. That's not the point. Tech is supposed to make our lives easier, more fun, more enjoyable, more social, and we can't trust mega corporations with it at any point because they always find a way to ruin it, and it sucks. Meanwhile, here I am with this giant box of a computer that can do all of these things through emulation and programs like Steam that, for the most part, have not given me any reason to doubt their goodwill. So it just seems like a better option to go with them. And, you know, the biggest thing that I have against Nintendo right now is their takedowns of the Yuzu emulator for Switch and the Citra emulator for 3DS. The Yuzu one I kind of understand, they had it coming. Citra did nothing wrong to my knowledge. They have been utter saints. Their emulator doesn't work unless you dump legal copies of games. And they more shut themselves down for fear of being so closely related to the Switch emulator, which I guess I understand. You just want to avoid the issue, but the 3DS is dead. You know, I'm gonna emulate my 3DS library. I'm gonna stream it. I can promise you that. And other people do that. Other people have been doing that for years. And there are so many good games that I would love to share with you guys. Games that people have heard of, games that some people have never heard of. I have stuff to last me till the end of time, really. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder, why do I even have a wish list for the Switch? Most of the games will run better on this thing anyway, except for the very specific ones that are in Nintendo's walled garden. That's kind of what this video is all about at the end of the day. I don't, again, pride myself on being a negative person. I hate that. I can be a complainer sometimes, but every now and then I like to think I have a reason to. And I'm not the only person who's been bringing this up and just trying to see the preservation of games continue on. There are so many good efforts to keep good games alive out there right now. And they're not coming from these big companies. They're coming from indie studios, they're coming from preservation devs, they're coming from emulators and the teams who work on them. They're the ones who need our support right now. They're the ones who need the screen time. And frankly, I think that's the way it's gonna be from now on. What I'm trying to say is, I'm finding less of a reason to have consoles in my life because, well, these companies don't want those consoles to be a permanent solution. And we've always known that hardware fails, that's nothing new, but it's the way that the companies are taking advantage of that to essentially rob us of our ownership that is so disappointing. I've basically kind of felt like the only way to go is emulation and piracy. It's really disappointing. Like, how many 3DS games can you think of that Nintendo will never bring to any service again because of the 3DS's form factor? And they're saying, no, stop playing those, get a Switch. We'll make a new game in your favorite series eventually. Maybe, probably. I don't want to wait for that. There's so many good games on the 3DS and the DS and the Wii and the Wii U. Yes, I've played Wii U games on this channel. they're great, you know? So that's kind of my stance on everything. And I'm sorry that this was kind of a complainy, nitpicky video, but at least I know I'm not the only one out there. And I think it does help to contribute to the conversation, because I think the more people that get into this kind of thing, the more companies might start to notice. Now, I'm not saying pirate current games when you can be buying them instead. That is not the point, okay? Don't do that. You're asking for trouble. What I'm saying is, if a company's not going to sell a game that you love anymore, you have no reason not to emulate it and preserve it for yourself, or at least dump the copy that you own for others or yourself to use in the future, because hardware doesn't last forever. You know, you got to keep moving on eventually, but we can still enjoy what we have now. So let's do that. This was a very different video for me, and I'm hoping to get back to the status quo pretty quickly. Even though, to be honest, the status quo is kind of changing as we speak. A new format, a brand new camera. I hope you guys all like how this looks. I know it's a little different. I've got a lot of things to figure out, but man, what an improvement from last year. This was not the video I was hoping to show it off in, but you know what? If I keep being a perfectionist, then nothing is ever going to get done, because I will keep trying to make my very next video perfect. So this is also a good kick in the butt for me to just get moving. And besides, I miss talking about stuff with you guys. So please shoot me some comments down below. What is your stance on all of this? Are you guys still interested in the Switch 2 or future consoles coming out? Or am I not the only one thinking that just general gaming is going downhill right now? Either way, I hope you guys enjoy contributing to the conversation. It's my favorite part about Discussionator. I love reading your comments and responding to them. So until next time, until next conversation, this is Denominator signing off. See you later, Ominators. Until next video. Bye.